Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine. This is classic compilations, compilations that introduced me to so much music. And some of these are going to be quite iconic, but I'll also be very interested to know if anyone actually else other than me still owns copies. This is Nice Enough to Eat, Island Records. 1969, is it? Could be. I don't know. I might be wrong. I know the inner sleeve is what I thought. Now look at that, made up of little sweeties, showing little biscuits, showing the names of all the bands that were on here. And on the back, more little sweeties, and then just a selection of 8 of the albums that are on here. Not all of them, some of them, but some of the key ones. I think it was, it could have been 59 pence, 49p, 99p. I think it was less than that. It was one of these albums that was 50 pence. And Ireland did quite a few of these compilations as a way of introducing you to bands where the albums probably, all of these artists were probably quite low level at the time. Well, that's how it felt to me. How old was I? 14, 15 years of age. So I started to buy records, and obviously I had to, this is a time when you needed to get your numbers up. There's no point, you're not going to be a very cool kid if you only got 3 albums. So yeah, I might have had Status Quo, Hello, Machine Head by Deep Purple and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but I couldn't afford full price records. So these albums that appeared for 50p at W.H. Smith's or the Midland Educational were ideal targets, really, and this was obviously one of them. There are others which I'll talk about at another time. So look at that, the famous Ireland, not the pink one, but I like this one, the palm tree one. The first one was Cajun Woman, Fairport Convention. I knew nothing about that band. I knew nothing about them at all. So this was the only thing I'd ever heard by them. Is that the only one that on there? Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of the other one. At the Crossroads, Mott the Hoople. I knew Mott the Hoople because I knew All the Young Dudes, but this was very strange, very different to that version of Mott the Hoople. This, of course, was from the first album. Great album, isn't it? That first Mott album. I'm sorry, but it just is. Why am I apologising? I think because I'm gushing about things that were such a long time ago, but when I heard this, it wasn't that such a long time ago, but it was the cusp of 1970, which at my young age I saw. Anything before that was like another land, really. A lot of this stuff was from there, especially Better by You, Better Than Me by Spooky Tooth. Spooky Tooth is one of the best hard rock albums of all time. It's the album that should have jettisoned Spooky Tooth to being like a major player in the world of rock, to make them a really up there, with Ariel Bender and, the Harrisons. But of course it was not to be, because they went and torpedoed themselves with what came afterwards. But on here, this was a song that would also be taken up by Judas Priest on the Stained Class album. But it's fantastic. And We Used to Know by Jethro Tull's next. I love that. I love this era of Jethro Tull with this kind of melancholy, kind of semi-distant vocal style that he had, and also with the guitar solo on that. It's just brilliant. Very much like the Eagles later on, isn't it? Woman by Free, from the second Free album, simply called Free. It's a great kind of slow burner of a hard rock song. Absolutely love it. Love the riff towards the latter part of the track. And I love Kossoff on it, obviously. And I love the strained vocal by Rogers. And then I keep singing that same song by a band called Heavy Jelly. This is one of my favourite songs on this album. It goes on for too long towards the end. It could have faded out a lot sooner, but the vocal style and the emotive way the verses act, it was a very kind of edgy piece of music. And I still love that kind of piano motif at the beginning of it. Sing Me a Song That I Know So Well by Bloodwind Pig. This is just a picture of a pig's head having a fag on the cover, pink, vibrant pink colour. This is kind of like I didn't know anything about them, but it's kind of a jazzy version of Tall in some ways. But I love this song, and I did play it a lot. And eventually, I went and bought that album, 40,000 Headmen by Traffic. Again, another one of my favourite tracks from this album. Time Has Told Me by Nick Drake. Probably the first singer-songwriter thing I'd ever heard in my life. What? Yeah, really, honestly, I wasn't listening to Bob Dylan, I wasn't listening to John Martin, so this was the first thing that made me think, gosh, this is a solo artist. Never heard of him. And then back then, most people hadn't. And now, very different. 21st Century Schizoid Man. This is of all the songs on this sampler, that one is obviously the epic. That this was something that other people knew about. But this is such a strange song. Instrumentally, vocally, everything about it was just the cover. Amazing. The Birth of Prague. And then Gunga Mai by Quintessence. Kind of like Notting Hill Gatey, yoga-ish, Eastern mysticism type hippie track. I quite liked it. And then the last one, which was, I think, the strangest song on the whole album, is Strangely Strange But Oddly Normal by Dr. Strangely Strange. That is a very peculiar, folky, almost folk horror song, really. But I played all of it. What did I buy? Because the whole point of albums like this was to make you go off down a rabbit hole and then save up your pocket money to go and get the real thing. So did I do that? Bearing in mind how hard money was and how long it took to save up, and I'm at school. I didn't. For a long time, because every time I got some money I was thinking, I could buy another Led Zeppelin album, I could buy all the first one, who were Montrose, more Deep Purple. There were so many things that by the time I'd saved up money, but I did. So maybe if I look at it like, which ones of these do I own now? Okay. Favorite Court Convention, I don't own that. At the Crossroads by Mark the Hoople, I do own that. I own that on vinyl and CD. Better Than You, Better Than Me, Spooky Tooth, I own that on vinyl and CD. I got that probably about 10 years after getting this. Mark the Hoople, probably about the same time. We used to know Jethro Tull from Stand Up. I probably bought that in the early 80s as well. So again, long time. Free, that was when I left school, early 70s. So Free, Kossoff was different. That was the first one of those bands where I just went to try and get everything from their catalogue, and I still play. All the ones I mentioned I do play actually, but Free are different. Keep Singing That Same Old Song, it never appeared. They were like a mystery band. There is a CD that compiles some of these tracks together where it's on, but no, I think, was it a single? I never saw it. Singer-song I used to know, again, probably the 90s before I got that, because I bought it on CD. I never bought the vinyl version. 40,000 Headmen, I got that on the Best of Traffic, which I got rid of, and then I eventually bought the Traffic album on CD, so I've got that now. 5 Leaves Left by Nick Drake, I've got that on vinyl twice. I've got it on CD about 4 times. I became a massive Nick Drake fan. Just bought the latest box set. So, yeah. So, with him and Free are in the lead. 21st Century Schizoid Man. Did you notice I nearly said 16th Century Greensleeves in? But I didn't mean that. So, 21st Century Schizoid Man Crimson. I have that on CD. Never owned it on vinyl. I did for about a week when I bought it from Sainsbury's, but it was scratched. So I've got that on CD. I think it's the 40th anniversary edition. Quintessence? No. I don't have that on vinyl or CD. Strangely Strange but Oddly Normal by Dr. Strangely Strange. You can't see that cover, can you? Like little pixies sitting in the middle of a brook in the Lake District, perhaps. I don't own that either. I came close out of curiosity, but then I put it back. So that's me and this classic, Nice Enough to Eat compilation on Island Records. Have you got this? Still play it? How many of the albums on it did you eventually buy? Be great to know in the comments. I know this is narrow. Now a lot of people will be watching this. Oh no, God. No, I think it's 1969. I think it is. Is it? Yeah. Anyway, so that's Nice Enough to Eat by Island Records, one of their classic compilations, and this is a classic compilation video. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. And remember, become a patron, a YouTube member, buy a mug, buy a t-shirt. It's the best way of experiencing Nam Spinning Magazine, as you well know. Music is the healing of the doctor. Please take care, all of you, and I'll see you all very, very soon.